Hello, and welcome to my show, The New Normal with Tina Salem Manzoor. On this show, every week we talk about a different aspect of studying abroad in this post-COVID-19 pandemic era that we live in. The new normal that we are trying to create, we want to know what it means for international students. We will discuss Canada today, a very popular study destination for students not only from Bangladesh but all over the world. I have with me four Canadian universities, and we want to find out from them what studying abroad or what does it mean for international students in Canada this year. আমরা আজকে কথা বলবো কানাডার কিছু ইউনিভার্সিটির সাথে। কানাডা শুধু বাংলাদেশই না, বিভিন্ন দেশের সব সব স্টুডেন্টদের কাছে খুবই জনপ্রিয় একটি স্টাডি ডেস্টিনেশন। সবাই কানাডায় পড়তে যেতে চায়। আমরা জানতে চাইবো যে এখনকার বর্তমান যে পরিস্থিতিতে এখানে ইন্টারন্যাশনাল স্টুডেন্টদের জন্য কানাডায় পড়তে যাওয়ার জন্য কোনো কিছু চেঞ্জ হয়েছে কিনা, চেঞ্জ হয়ে থাকে চেঞ্জগুলো কি, তারা কি করতে পারে সেই ব্যাপারে আমরা কথা বলবো। আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকলে আপনারা Let's get introduced to our guests tonight. I am very happy to announce I have with me Victoria Steele, the Associate Director for International Market Development from Brock University, Anthony Culver, Marketing Manager, Fraser International College, Romi Saraswat, International Student Recruitment Coordinator from the University of Windsor, and Cheryl Ramage. She's from Ryerson University. Among others, she manages international student enrollment. I welcome you all to the show. Thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to have you all with us. Before we get into the questions and different scenarios for the show, I would like to know from each of you, please introduce your institutions to us for our students. Shall we begin with you, Cheryl? Please talk about Ryerson, my alma mater.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just briefly introduce myself again. So as you said, my name is Cheryl. I'm the manager of international student recruitment and agent relations, and I work at Ryerson University. So we are located in the heart of downtown Toronto. We really are Canada's urban campus. We are one of the most multicultural and diverse campuses in the country. We pride ourselves on entrepreneurship and innovation and experiential learning. And this is where students have access to many different industries, maybe to complete their internship or their co-op. So engineering, business, community services, and design, as well as science.
Hi, Cheryl. We're getting a little bit of interruption on your sound. Maybe for the next round, we'll check. I mean, be a little careful on that. So, shall we go to Romi? Romi, would you tell us about Windsor?
Sure. Hi, like Tina said, my name is Romi Saraswat. I'm the International Student Recruitment Coordinator here in the city of Windsor for the university. We are what we call a mid-sized university, approximately 16,000 students participating in over 200 programs at the undergraduate, graduate, and the doctoral level. What is unique about Windsor is, not, apart from just the academic programs, is our strategic location on the world map. We are a border city between the US and Canada, right across the river from Detroit, Michigan, about three and a half hours away from Toronto in terms of driving distance. So, and about 1/3 of Canada's population lives, within about 8 hours of driving distance. So what Windsor offers is opportunities in terms of research and development, manufacturing, logistics, commerce. So any industry that you are studying towards, there is an opportunity for you to get your co-op education, your experiential learning components right here in the city of Windsor, as well as postgraduate opportunities in and around Windsor. So, you're welcome to explore the campus. We hope to be able to talk to you a little more about our programs and processes during this period. But feel free to reach out to us. Over 200 programs through 9 faculties. I'm sure we have something for each one of you.
Shall we move over to the West Coast? Anthony?
Hey, great to be on this show with you, Tina. Thank you for having me. My name, as you said, is Anthony Culver. I'm one of the marketing managers at Fraser International College. Now, Fraser International College, FIC, is such an interesting organization because we're located on the same campus as Simon Fraser University. We provide a first year equivalent with a lot of proactive support, smaller classrooms, and the ability to transfer into second year at Simon Fraser University. And then students continue their studies from SFU. And SFU is that number one comprehensive university in Canada. It's located in Vancouver, and it also has over 150 different programs spread across 8 different faculties. So there's a lot going on. But I find that one of the best things at SFU is the co-op program. Every single student, regardless of what you are studying, can apply for co-op. And co-op's that paid work experience opportunity. As well, it is located in Vancouver. So that means that it is the third largest city in Canada, but I would say the city with the best climate, as well combined with that industry. We have so much going on. I think you really do need to check it out.
Great. Let's come to Brock now.
Thank you, Tina. Welcome everyone to the show. My name is Victoria Steele. I'm the Associate Director for International Market Development at Brock University. And I love this intro that we all get to be able to describe the highlights of our schools. You'll find that location is a defining feature for most of us. So I'll start there. Brock University, we are medium-sized as well. We're located in the Niagara region in a city called St. Catharines. So we're about 1 hour from Toronto driving. It's easy to get back and forth from the airport. And we're about 20 minutes from Niagara Falls. And so Niagara Falls is basically in your backyard. Lots to do around here. Beautiful city, super clean and green and friendly. The university is really the heart of the city. And one of the things that I would like to emphasize is the feeling of community when you come here. Brock is about 19,000 students. And we really pride ourselves on our student services and the idea of you getting as involved as you can when you come to Brock. So studying within one of our, 70 plus undergraduate programs or an MBA at the master's level, PhD, from the very beginning, we want you to feel as though you're part of the Brock community, feel as though you're part of the Niagara community. And like my colleagues and fellow panelists have mentioned, there's a lot of online features. You can take online tours and hopefully learn more about Brock throughout this talk show for the next 50 minutes or so.
Great. Let's talk about the campus, Victoria. What's happening in your campus now? You're all working from home? Is the campus open? What's happening?
Yes, I am working from home. This is my home in the background. Campus at Brock is closed currently. All of our classes will be online for fall 2020, with the exception of a very small handful of graduate programs. So all classes online. We're hoping for January 2021. However, we obviously need to take the lead from the federal government here. But, lots of online options. I definitely encourage students to start online, and I'm sure we'll have more questions about that coming up.
Anthony, what's happening in BC now? Are you also, similar situation? Are you all working? I can see that you're working from home, but what about the campus? What's happening?
I don't know. This is a pretty awesome setup. I would be happy if this was my office. But I am working from home now, and I've been working from home for a while. It is comfortable. I would say that Vancouver is really returning to a sense of normal in the idea that things are opening up, but the campus itself has really followed Canada's leads and taken a more measured approach. What that means is that students can come into campus if they have something extremely important, but we are really pushing students to stay online, stay smart, be safe, and still a lot of our students actually went home to their home country, whether it was Bangladesh or somewhere else. They're studying online. FIC is offering courses in the morning and in the evening Vancouver time. So we're seeing that they're generally very friendly around the world, and students aren't waking up at some crazy hour like 2 a.m. in the morning trying to jump on a lecture and memorize everything. So we figured out a few very important parts to make sure that students are still accessing the education that they are expecting.
Absolutely. What's the plan for fall?
It's online.
It's all online? So
It's
no,
all
no.
online. And again, maybe one or two courses that should be taught in person will be, but everything is online. And similar to Victoria, the supports have been shifted online. There's a lot of ways to reach out to instructors to make sure that the community continues. But everything's virtual.
We want to know more about that. Let's find out what's happening in Romi's border town with US.
So similar situation for the summer semester, we are offering all programs and all courses online, and same thing for fall. The announcement was made, and like Victoria said, we don't have a decision about winter as yet, and we have to take the lead on the government agencies on that. But all the offices are working remotely. Admissions are being processed in pretty much the same timelines as we were earlier too. So anybody that's waiting for a decision, it's in the pipeline. It is actively being processed. So I'm not seeing any delays as far as applications and admissions is concerned. And the online services for the fall 2020 terms are active. We have been hosting webinars, faculty-based webinars. Departments are hosting information sessions to make it easy. The online learning format. It's new for a lot of us.
Right.
And I'm finding that it gives them that much more of an opportunity to interact personally rather than sitting in a classroom of 200 400 people. This technology is giving them an opportunity. So office hours, faculty members, GAs, TAs, peer services or peer tutoring, all the facilities will be available online for our students in the fall.
Cheryl, you're in Toronto, and there are, I think, so things are opening up, but for learning, I guess it's still on. I mean, learning and work, it's still online.
So that's right. So all of our courses, like all the other institutions here, everything's going to be online for September. There are a few exceptions in the Faculty of Communication and Design. They are implementing some optional, maybe studio classes, but a student doesn't have to do that. So we're also implementing some really great transitions programs. There's something called Get Ryerson Ready. So as soon as the student confirms their offer to Ryerson, they begin the enrollment process. They can sign up for this program, and they can be matched with a mentor. Faculty will be reaching out to them to help advise them, what they can do to get ready for September. Our student orientation is going to be online as interactive as possible as well.
So what would it mean for international students if it goes online? Will they need a visa, or should they just apply as soon as they have their offers and things ready, can they just start studying? Because in Bangladesh, visa offices haven't opened yet. Do you want to?
I can answer. Does anybody? Do you want to assign the question?
Victoria, go ahead.
Okay, so just bearing in mind that, the best advice that you'll likely get about study permits and immigration is probably from MACES themselves or a designated certified immigration advisor on campus. So we're limited with what we can say here, but what I would advise...
From the universities as well, so yeah, please go ahead.
What I would advise is... start online in the fall if you can. Might as well get going with that. And once you have your acceptance, apply for the study permit. Right now, or as of 2 days ago, I believe it is, you guys could nod, or IRCC announced kind of a 2-stage plan for students who would be studying online. So you do not need to have a study permit to begin your courses online, but you are encouraged to apply for that study permit, and then you can begin classes. Stage 2 would be completing the entire process for the study permit, along with biometrics and everything else. So it's wonderful that the federal government has announced this. I think that it has created less stress, anxiety, frustration, whatever those feelings might be towards beginning studies online in the fall. As of, up until Monday, a lot of students were emailing and saying, I'm worried, what do I do? Should I defer my offer? Should I roll forward to the next term? And I think that this recent announcement has really, brought some ease to the situation.
So
I'm not sure.
I think it's pretty much same for everyone. So আমরা যেটা জানলাম সেটা হচ্ছে যে সবকিছু অনলাইনে হবে, সেপ্টেম্বর সেমিস্টারের সব ক্লাসই সব ইউনিভার্সিটি ক্লাসেসই অনলাইনে হবে। এবং কিন্তু আন্তর্জাতিক স্টুডেন্টদের জন্য একটা সুবিধার ব্যাপার হচ্ছে, যদিও এখন ঢাকায় ভিসা অফিসেস খোলেনি, অনলাইনে তারা পড়াশোনা শুরু করতে পারবে। সো অনলাইনে পড়াশোনা শুরু করবার জন্য তাদের আসলে স্টাডি পারমিটের দরকার নেই, তারা স্টাডি পারমিটের পরে অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবে। আগে তারা ওরা ইউনিভার্সিটি এনকারেজ করছে ক্লাসটা শুরু করে দিয়ে, যদি সময় মতো জিনিসটা না হয় ক্লাস শুরু করে দিয়ে তারপরে স্টাডি পারমিট অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবে তারা।
Just adding on to what Victoria had said, that taking online courses will not impact the postgraduate work permit for the students. And that has been one major concern for students in the graduate program. Yeah. So, and the detailed information is on the IRCC website now, so they can check specifically for their region as well.
While I have you online, here on live, I would like to actually go a little bit more detail on that, because we know that students, once they finish their 4 years in Canada, then they get their work permit. Now, a lot of students have asked us, if we begin online now, and let's say now the situation is that we do this semester online, and then we can go in January. But what if we cannot go in January? What if we end up doing a whole year outside of Canada? So do we have some sort of any understanding whether how up to how long they can study outside of Canada and still be allowed to get their work permit? I mean, once they graduate, once they've come to Canada and graduate. Do you want to take that question, Cheryl?
So in terms of, I would just still refer students to the IRCC website. My understanding is, I'm not sure if it will last the full entire year.
We do hope not.
Pardon me?
I mean, none of us hope that it's going to last the whole year. We just have to be ready.
So my understanding is it applies for the September term.
So and what you're saying is, and when they come in January, then it's all fine. Just for now, we know that even if they do September online and they come from January, they would qualify for the post-study work permit. Yes, Romi, go ahead.
And IRCC has confirmed that students are able to take up to 50% of their program online, so without that impacting their postgraduate work permit. So even if they're in a short-term program, or at the undergraduate level, there is a lot more flexibility in terms of semesters and terms. But it has been confirmed that up to 50% of the program taken online will not impact their postgraduate work permit.
So প্রোগ্রামের অর্ধেকটা যদি আপনি ক্যানাডার বাইরে করেন, ফর আন্ডারগ্রাজুয়েট স্টুডেন্টস দ্যাট মিন্স 2 বছর যদি আপনি ক্যানাডার বাইরে করেন, মানে 50% পর্যন্ত ক্যানাডার বাইরে করেও ক্যানাডাতে যে you can still get your work permit. So that's very good to know. What I want to know about transfer of credits. I know that in the recent times, when US made that announcement about international students having to leave, they have changed that now, but there was a lot of confusion, and a lot of our students who are currently studying in America asked us about trade transfers, and that sentence about queries to you as well. I know that Windsor have there have been really faster turnarounds for transfers. So I want to know from each of you regarding credit transfers from the UK and the US. Can we begin with you, Anthony?
Yeah, good question. And I'm in somewhat of a different perspective, because with FIC, our one-year program is really designed to both teach you the materials, those academics, but also get you familiar with that Canadian education system. And then you proceed into Simon Fraser University. So for the first time ever, actually, FIC is allowing students with prior post-secondary experience to apply and to start at FIC. That's something new. That's really something that we've seen is affecting international students, and we want to do our part to support everyone, regardless of where they're coming from. Now, our turnaround time on application processes is generally within 3 working business days, so that's pretty quick already. And even now, with the influx of applications, influx of transcripts, we're holding to that as close as possible. With that transfer credit, that really happens after student transfers to SFU, and then they can apply to bring over their credit from whichever university or country that it was completed in.
Great. Victoria, should we move on to Brock?
Yeah, absolutely. So for transfer students, you are more than welcome to join any of our undergraduate degree programs. The application and admissions process is pretty streamlined. I echo my fellow colleagues here when I say we're doing our best to process quickly. You're looking again at about 3 business days. The trick is with transfer credits, obviously we need to see any and all post-secondary studies that you've previously completed. So if you've gone to college or university somewhere else globally, then you'll need to submit those transcripts. Those then transcripts are evaluated and the transfer credit is awarded. And everything will be written very, very clearly in your offer letter. So you'll be able to see what transfer has been awarded, what credit's been awarded, and then you'll also be able to better determine timelines for degree completion as well as overall cost of study.
Great. What about Ryerson, Cheryl?
So at Ryerson, the transfer credit assessment process generally happens after a student has been admitted to a university. So to give you an example of a few different scenarios, so if there is a student currently studying maybe within Canada at a college or another university, the transfer credit could be awarded in their offer of admission. Of course, the student would have to have strong grades in the courses they would want to transfer over. Keep in mind, every student is applying to the first year of an undergraduate program. If a student has post-secondary experience outside of Canada, generally what we're looking for, and I think this is similar to Brock and FIC and maybe Windsor, is after they hopefully receive admission to the university, they would then apply to the transfer credit unit. They would need detailed course descriptions. If it's in a language other than English, they would have to have that translated. If the course they've taken at another institution closely matches what is at Ryerson, they would be awarded some credit. And our policy is the student has to complete at least 50% of their program at Ryerson in order to receive a degree. So essentially what I like to tell students is it might not shorten the amount of time they study at the school, it just might lighten their course load in 6 semesters.
Right. Romi, shall we talk about Windsor?
So yeah, in addition to what my colleague said, we also have the additional a database of the transfer credit equivalencies on our website. So students are able to go see what their courses that they've completed, what the equivalencies would be, and what courses they would be allowed to be exempt from, to participate and complete their degree. Under current times, as you'd mentioned, the announcement that came out of the US, being a border city, we did get a lot of inquiries right away. So we have offered opportunities for students, especially in the United States, to be able to transfer credits. And we're just trying to make it an easy process and an expedited process. We have waived off the traditional application and the application fee for those students who are transferring from undergraduate programs in the United States, and an expedited decision within 72 hours. So if there's any candidates, any applicants that are looking for transferring into Canada, and are looking towards University of Windsor, I do encourage them, all of our universities, we do have options. The government is making it easier in terms of visa processing and the quality of Canadian education. Like, I think all of us feel that sense of proud. Our tagline is Windsor Proud, and I absolutely am Windsor Proud, that we have a lot to offer. So we do encourage students to look into
72 hours, that's great.
Yeah. And in addition, depending on the programs, there is a $2,000 additional scholarship for students transferring from the United States. And there is, and also under current times, because if the student is currently in the US and, but depending on their visa status, if they need to leave, we are offering free quarantine services for the students in our residence services, provided they sign up for residence for the rest of the year. So, we're just trying to make it as easy and as welcoming as possible for international students.
Excellent, that's very good. I wanted to talk about a little bit with all of you regarding foundation. We always receive so many questions, so many queries about foundation. Actually, we will begin with you? I mean, and the pathways that you offer, and if you could tell us about that.
So with FIC, we really offer two types of programs. The first one would be a UTP Stage 1 program, and that's very much that traditional foundation. Students who complete their O-levels in Bangladesh, they're coming for that UTP Stage 1. It's generally completed within 8 months, 2 semesters. You transfer into Stage 2, which is our second level of programming, equivalent to first year university, and then you continue. But in that UTP Stage 1, really, you're building yourself up, getting that taste of Canadian education, and just making it a little smoother for you to continue into that university lifestyle. Yeah.
And they are at the campus, and they are part of the university.
Yep. They get the full, campus experience, university life. They are treated the same as any other student that we have. So we like to make sure that they're working hard. They have to attend their classes, do all the studies, but it is still a foundation level. So really making sure that they are maximizing that learning experience on FIC's campus.
Can they come to the East Coast if they want to, once they're done their course at FIC?
Can they come to the
East? What do the...
I would ask, why are they running away from Vancouver?
They can come to Brock
and Windsor.
There we go. I think there's some other people willing to take it. But within FIC, it's such a value proposition. So graduating from Simon Fraser University, #1 comprehensive university, my old university, so I won't let you guys steal my students. Getting that best education possible. Why would you want to transfer? It is possible, but it's such a good program over here.
Of course, we just want to tell them what all the options that there are, and then
of course. They have to stay informed.
Victoria, do you want to talk about the foundation programs at Brock?
Sure. It's pretty short story. We don't have any. And so I know the foundation programs are very popular in Bangladesh. And perhaps there's a misunderstanding that you need to enter a foundation program prior to going into an undergraduate degree. At Brock, we don't have any foundation programs. There would be conditional admission based on language. So if you did need some sort of ESL prior to starting your undergrad, that's available. But generally, you're accepted directly right into an undergraduate program, whether that's from an IB school, if you've taken AP courses, or national curriculum, all are welcome and accepted.
You also accept students from that. And the GEDs as well, right?
Sorry?
The GED, the General Education Diploma,
yeah, you can submit that. We don't require it unless you haven't completed the other curriculums. But absolutely, whatever you have, we'll review.
Romi, we have a question. I know it's not, but if you could just say that again, just for confirmation. A student has written that University of Windsor has cancelled all classes for January, and they're shifting everything to September 2021. So we know that's not true, but can we hear it from you?
Not at all. So at this point, all classes are being held as per schedule. For the fall semester, classes will be held online in the synchronous as well as the asynchronous format. And we have not made a decision about the format or, the format of classes for January, but absolutely classes will be held. We are ready to welcome international students on our campus for the January term as well.
আসিফ খান, আপনার প্রশ্ন ছিল, আপনি বলেছেন যে ইউনিভার্সিটি উইন্ডসর সব ক্লাসেস ক্যান্সেল করে দিয়েছে এই সেপ্টেম্বরের জন্য। সেটা আসলে সত্যি না। আমরা শুনলাম উইন্ডসর রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভের কাছ থেকে যে উইন্ডসর ক্লাস এখনো হচ্ছে এবং এই সেপ্টেম্বরের ক্লাসেস অনলাইনে হবে, জানুয়ারিতেও ক্লাসেস হবে। সো নেক্সট ইনটেকগুলো সেভাবে করেই চলতে থাকবে, কোনো সেমেস্টার ক্যান্সেল হয়নি। Do you want to talk about foundations, the progressions for Windsor?
So no, we do not offer the foundation programs, but like Victoria said, we accept students directly into our undergraduate and graduate programs, provided the admission requirements are met. So, typically a completion of a high school diploma in whatever format it is, whatever types of classes they have taken, and a completion of a 4-year bachelor's degree or a 3-year bachelor's or 2-year bachelor's sometimes in Bangladesh, plus a master's would qualify for graduate admissions. We do have the pathway, the English language pathway programs for students that do not meet English language proficiency.
But mostly our students come, English generally is not a problem. We have a question that this year the HSC exam has been cancelled in Bangladesh. So will you be accepting, because they will not be taking the exams this year, will you be accepting them based on their SSCs and the fact that they've done their classes? Or will you want to see because it's only next year that they'll be able to take the exams?
So it depends on what their final graduation grades are. And, each country is determining them differently. So depending on what their high school graduation grades and the final, transcripts look like, and if they meet the admission requirements to the program, then our registrar's office is processing applications based on those.
Right.
Yeah, I would echo the same thing. I think we're all trying to be flexible with our approach. So whatever transcripts, grades, exams students can submit at this point, admissions officers are doing their best to review those quickly and put together the best possible offer to extend to applicants.
So আমার প্রশ্ন ছিল যে এবছর যেহেতু এইচএসসি পরীক্ষা হচ্ছে না সেই ক্ষেত্রে ছাত্রছাত্রীরা কি করতে পারে। তো ইউনিভার্সিটি যেটা বলছে যদি এবছর এইচএসসি পরীক্ষা হচ্ছে না কিন্তু তারা এসএসসি দিয়েছে এবং আগের ক্লাসের রেজাল্ট আছে, তো সেগুলো সবকিছু পাঠিয়ে অ্যাপ্লাই করে দেখতে তাদের অ্যাডমিশন ডিপার্টমেন্ট দেখে তারপরে তারা ডিসিশন দিবেন। তো যেহেতু এবছর পরীক্ষা হয়নি বলে যে আপনি অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবেন না, সেটা সেই ক্ষেত্রে সঠিক না। আপনি অ্যাপ্লাই করে দেখতে পারেন, তারা কেস বাই কেসে রিভিউ করে দেখবে আপনাদের ডকুমেন্টস। Is fall 2020? We still have questions for fall 2020. Is there any course openings, or is it is mostly done? The applications are mostly done. We just want confirmation from you.
Yep. So we are still accepting applications. We're still reviewing them. Students still have time to make up their mind with Fraser International College. I think similar to everyone else, we are trying to be as flexible and supportive as possible. And so just making sure, things were pushed back. And so we are also pushing back some of our deadlines just to make sure that students are getting the options they're looking for.
Is it pretty much the same for all of you? Some courses are still open? Applications are still open. So fall 2020 applications এখনো খোলা আছে। কিছু কিছু কোর্সের জন্য আপনারা আমাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করে অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারেন এখনো।
Especially at the undergraduate level. It's a lot easier. You're looking for fewer transcripts. So that turnaround time is always faster. And I'm sure it is for all of us. Those applications are open pretty much. And, with the online format, they don't have to worry about applying for study permit in a timely manner. So we will be processing applications pretty much till the start of classes.
Victoria?
Yeah, lots of programs still open. I would say work with partners like Maces. They can easily determine which programs still have seats available for fall 2020, as well as our January 2021 application is open. Admissions are rolling. Offers are already going out for winter. So lots of choices.
So September এখন অ্যাপ্লাই করা যাবে, জানুয়ারির জন্য তো অ্যাপ্লিকেশন অবশ্যই করা যাবে, আমাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করবেন অ্যাপ্লাই করতে হলে। Cheryl, we lost you for a little bit. We were talking about foundation. So
I apologize.
Good to have you back. Do you want to talk about the coming to Ryerson foundation route?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Ryerson, we have 2 foundation programs for international students. The first would be the ESL Foundation program, not necessarily applicable to many students applying from Bangladesh, but that's for students that are academically qualified and competitive in an undergraduate program. They just haven't yet reached the English proficiency test score that they need for admission. So depending on what, for example, their IELTS score would be, that would determine if they spend 1, 2, or 3 semesters in the program. They have the opportunity to do up to 4 university degree credits, so they're a little bit ahead when they join their undergraduate program in the fall. And at Ryerson, we just have 1 intake. for undergraduate programs in September. And then the inverse of that would be our International University Foundation program. So that's for students that meet our English requirements, but either they are just shy of having a competitive average for admission, or they might be missing a subject prerequisite. So that program is 2 semesters or 1 academic year in length. They have the opportunity to do up to 6 undergraduate degree credits. And it also really helps with the academic and the cultural transition, not only to Ryerson, but to Canada as well.
Great, thank you. We have some questions regarding GPA requirements for Brock and Ryerson for master's. So if you could just get like the minimums from you for Ryerson. For most masters, what sort of GPA are you looking for? We have quite a few students asking that question.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, every master's program is different, but generally we're looking for CGPA of, it would be equivalent to a 3.3 out of 4. And then, of course, in addition to that, depending on the program, there would be different reference letters, personal statements as well.
Right. So 3.3 is mostly what you're looking for. For Brock, Victoria?
Sure. Difficult. There's a lot of master's programs to choose from. If you're looking for a course-based master's, meaning a non-research program, we're generally, for like an MBA, for example, I imagine that's what people are looking at. You're looking at about an 80%. So if you want to speak Canada lingo, you're looking at averages of about 80% or looking about an A-. And the MBA program starts every September. So you'll have to wait a year.
Next year.
Next year.
You can get ready for next year. Anthony, as we are wrapping up, I would like to know from you, you know, with everything that's happening, of course, Canada is still a popular destination. Everybody still wants to Canada. But what is your view? Just why should students still want to come to SFU, the West Coast, FIC?
I mean, this time more than ever is quite interesting in our lives. And I think when times are tricky, when times are difficult, that's when we learn the most about ourselves and what we want out of life. And for students who are very goal-oriented, I was myself, I would question, why would you want to delay your plans? If you know you want to study, if you know you want a great education, and I mean, quite honestly, everyone on this panel represents a very good university. Why would you delay it by 4 months or a complete year? Go ahead. Everyone's developed the right platforms. We've got so much support. Our class sizes, even though we're online, have stayed at a maximum of 35 students per class. So the connection between instructors and students is there. Things are opening up within Vancouver. But why would you delay?
Yeah, that's great. Exactly. And that's what we say. You cannot put your life on hold. You have to continue living whatever is going through. I still have questions on.
Please.
You know, Bangladeshi students, I mean, can they travel now? Right now, students from Bangladesh, they're not, the borders are still closed, right? They cannot come in.
Question. I mean, again, like most immigration questions, you guys are actually one of the experts, I would say. So definitely they should be talking to MACES and your staff team. The other thing is they should be checking the government websites. The borders are closed for anyone but Canadian citizens or for someone who has a student permit before March 18th, as per my understanding. But again, double check that with MACES and the Canadian government before.
No, that's what it is. So আমি এখানে আরেকবার করে বলে দিচ্ছি যে এখন কেউ যেতে পারছে না। এখন সবাইকে অনলাইনে পড়াশোনা করতে, যারা যেখানে আছেন সেখানেই থেকে পড়াশোনা শুরু করতে হবে। And then once the border opens, then you can travel. Victoria, let's hear from you. Why should students still look into studying in Canada despite all of this that's going on? And Rock, especially.
Well, Canada, because it's awesome. You're going to get a good quality education no matter where you choose to go. Do your research and find out what university suits you the best and why. I agree with Anthony. Why delay? I think that if you're a first entry student into Canada, this is your first year, take the time to transition, get used to courses online, connect with the virtual community, learn about who's there to support you, interact with current students. And then when the borders do open and campuses, are full steam ahead as planned, then you're already feeling more relaxed about your experience. I would say too that there is an affordability factor. Not everybody wants to speak about this, but if you do, when you move to Canada, you have to rent an apartment, you've got food and all of the exciting activities. And so the cost of living, all of that you're saving if you're remaining at home and studying online. And we know that this is a big investment. And so if you can save a couple pennies and start your classes online, why not?
That's great. Yeah, oh, exactly. Cheryl, shall we talk about Ryerson?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would just echo what everybody has always said. Why wait? Like this September semester, Ryerson, just like every institution here, is still offering all the support services available to students. It's a time to understand, how to transition to a different academic system. We're putting lots of things in place for community building, connecting students to other students, maybe even in their home country if they choose to stay. There's a lot of community building opportunities as well. So definitely recommend students to start as soon as they can.
Right, without waiting. Romi, shall we talk about Windsor?
Absolutely. The same, like my colleague said, it is an opportunity for students to kind of, step into it slowly and, get a feel of the Canadian education while being home, while being in the comfort of their, surrounding environments that they're used to. There is the economic aspect that Victoria mentioned. And, all those factors come together. And as a university, as all of us, we are offering all the services that would be available to them while they were on campus. So all those facilities, whether it is academic advising, whether it is peer counseling, whether it is student services, all those are available virtually as well. So they can still participate and get a very good Canadian experience. And they always have the option, next semester, hopefully, they will be able to be here and proceed in their programs. So why put aside something that they can do right away?
Right, exactly. And I think before we end, I would like to also just come back to each of you once again and really talk. I mean, something that we didn't get to focus much on was that, like you said, that they will get all sorts of facilities while doing online. And just want to know a little bit more in terms of how universities will be helping students in learning online, because it is a learning curve. I mean, they need to really understand what online education is all about, and this is university level. So, what sort of measures are each of you providing? What sort of support are each of you providing in learning online? If you could continue with you, Ron.
Like I mentioned, there are information sessions being held, and it is primarily, the faculty member or the instructor's, decision on how best that course is suited for online learning. So the one-on-one interaction between faculty members, registration for courses is open. So for those of our students who have already registered into the courses, they know they are able to interact with the faculty members. Faculties are keeping track of how many international students in each course and what kind of timelines work better for those students. All the courses are being offered in the synchronous as well as the asynchronous format, so they have an option to attend a live class when possible. And if it is like 3 a.m. in Bangladesh, we don't expect students to have to wake up at that time to attend classes. They will have access to the recordings for
and they can always send in their questions later on.
Absolutely. And, like I mentioned earlier, this in some ways, this technology is offering us an opportunity to personalize that education more. There's a lot of students whose level of comfort is different in class. They may not feel comfortable asking a question or reaching out to a faculty member, in a class of 100 students, and so technology allows us that opportunity. We're connecting with you one-on-one. Otherwise it would have been in a fair setting where students would have to be there, in person. So opportunities like this are existing for online learning as well. And, just stay connected with the universities. All the universities are putting forth resources. Just, reach out, connect, participate, whether it's information sessions, webinars, reaching out to the faculty members directly. All the resources are available. Just, try, and while you have time before classes start, make yourselves familiar with those setups.
Anthony, what are you doing at FIC in helping students with this transition to online learning?
I think a lot of what I have to say I'll just be echoing. We have those synchronous classes, we have asynchronous. Instructors have been creative in how they're using different platforms to really make sure conversations are happening, both informal conversations in office hours, but also those bigger group discussions that should be at an academic level. And it goes beyond that too. I think with FIC, my team and we just held a presentation for students coming into FIC, and it was co-hosted by some of our current students looking at what it takes to be successful. And then when a student does arrive at FIC and starts their studies, they will be taking this course called Integrated Learning Systems. It's all about just how to be successful in that university, that academic environment. And it goes throughout the whole semester, talks about everything from time management, how to make sure that you're accessing the right resources, but all of that is going to continue to be provided for students.
That's very good. So you have all sorts of support. We're not just throwing you into the system. Students know that. Do you want to add something to that, Victoria, in terms of what you're doing?
Yeah, just a couple different unique features for us. One would be every incoming international student is assigned an academic coach. So basically helping you navigate those first couple weeks, answering any questions you might have regarding, specific classes, professors, as well as offering workshops on things like time management, because that might be tricky depending on the schedule. And then as well, our International Student Services Office is awesome, and every student who has accepted an offer to Brock, for fall 2020, will receive a phone call, and that phone call will basically check on things like bandwidth. Do you have enough bandwidth at your house to be able to attend all your courses successfully? Mock lectures will be offered, all of that. So a time prior to starting your courses to ask a lot of questions, connect with us individually, and make sure that you're ready to go.
Cheryl, what's happening at Ryerson?
Absolutely. So it's similar to what everyone is saying, with courses online, there's opportunity to watch recordings, there's opportunity to attend live, keeping in mind that, many international students might not necessarily be in Canada. There is the opportunity to take part in the Tri Mentoring program, where an international student would be paired with a third or fourth year international student, just to help them with the transition piece, to show them how to be successful. It's that mentor's responsibility to perhaps connect that student with resources or virtual resources on campus for students to take advantage of as well. Earlier, I mentioned our program called Get Ready Ryerson that students can sign up for. And each faculty will be reaching out. They'll be sending communication to admit and confirm students very soon, letting them know, what the plan exactly is going to be for the fall semester and how they can be successful.
Great, thank you all very much. I think we had a question, and I hopefully I will be able to answer. So the student wants to know whether final exams for the fall semester, will that be online as well? I think we can safely say everything will be online. So,
yeah, everything's online.
Thank you all very much for coming to the show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Really enjoyed the opportunity.
Canada Chapter University সাথে আপনারা জানতে পারলেন যেটা বলেছেন যে ক্যানাডার সব ইউনিভার্সিটি পড়াশোনা অনলাইনে হবে। এই সেপ্টেম্বর এখনো অ্যাপ্লাই করার সুযোগ আছে, আপনারা চাইলে আমাদের যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন, স্পেশালি আন্ডার গ্রাজুয়েটের ক্ষেত্রে। জানুয়ারিতেও কোর্সেস হবে এবং সবই অনলাইনে হবে, কিন্তু অনলাইনে হলেও চিন্তা করবার কিছু নেই। ভিসা কাজটা আপনি করেও ফেলতে পারেন, ভিসা পরেও অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারেন, জানুয়ারির মধ্যে ক্যানাডাতে যেতে পারলেই হবে। এছাড়াও 50% of the course যদি আপনি ক্যানাডায় করে ক্যানাডার বাইরেও করেন, তারপরও you can still apply for the study permit after graduation. So we wish you all the best. আরো কোয়েশ্চেন থাকলে আমাদের সাথে কমেন্টে লিখে পাঠান, ইনবক্স করতে পারেন। আবারও কথা হবে, ভালো থাকবেন। Thank you very much. Let's end the show here.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Be safe.